Coronavirus is getting me down, getting me down. All this sequestering is making me frown, making me frown.
Mr. Exotic, we've got an internet show to shoot over here.
I was working on my next song.
I know, we gotta shoot though.
Welcome to this segment of the GV Doug Exotic Web-O-Vision. First and foremost, we send our sympathies and well wishes to each and every one of you who have had your lives and livelihoods disrupted as a part of this pandemic situation we are currently experiencing. Please continue to be safe, smart, and socially spaced. Before we know it, our lives will return to normal. Knowing that you, our beloved audience, have had an abnormal level of your own worries to deal with, I have forced myself to remain silent on a subject that has been tearing at my heart. However, I feel that now is the right time to speak out on this matter, and in doing so, maybe I can help you forget about your worries, even if only for the next few minutes. It is well past time that we had an open discussion about the elephant in the room. Now, just to be clear, we here at the GV Exotic Refuge neither own, possess, or have access to any actual elephants. That's not who we are or what this is about. A recent television docuseries about tigers and a man named Joe has swept the country in a manner that could be considered pandemic in its own right. Portions of this docuseries are filmed right here in my great state of Oklahoma. Now, my fellow Okies understand what I mean when I say that the Oklahoma portrayed in this docuseries is not my Oklahoma. Those of you whose knowledge of Oklahoma is limited to what you've seen on TV or your view out the window as you flew over my great state, please listen up. Each and every one of us here at the GV Exotic Refuge were born and raised right here in Oklahoma. Oklahoma is our home. We can't even say Oklahoma without saying home. This docuseries about tigers and a guy named Joe portrays Oklahoma as a place where the land is bland, the people are mostly misfits, and the towns have not evolved beyond 1970. This is not my Oklahoma. For starters, my Oklahoma has a beautiful new logo and a slogan to go with it. Imagine that. My Oklahoma is a place of vast and diverse beauty. Beauty that includes picturesque lakes where fishing, boating, hiking, and camping happens. Wide open spaces filled with wildflowers, windmills, and waving wheat smelling sweet. Imagine that. My Oklahoma is blessed with the most beautiful sunsets on planet Earth. And when I say planet Earth, I'm talking about both the globular one and the flat one. I am told by trustworthy sources that my Oklahoma also has equally impressive sunrises too. Imagine that. My Oklahoma is filled with hardworking people. People of all vocations doing their part to make the world go around. None harder working and more vital to my Oklahoma's identity than the Oklahoma farmers and ranchers who have made a lifestyle out of producing food to be put on tables across the world. Now, while tigers are indisputably beautiful creatures, you're not likely to randomly encounter a tiger as you explore my great state. Beautiful horses and cattle pepper the plains of my Oklahoma. Beautiful cowboys and cowgirls represent my Oklahoma to a much greater degree than tiger tamers. Donkeys preside over pastures, not porches, in my Oklahoma. Imagine that. What's that you say? Country is not your thing? Not a problem. My Oklahoma has beautiful cities of size too, like Tulsa and Oklahoma City, where urban life prevails and the nighttime skylines are a sight to see. Where world-class family gathering places are free for all to enjoy, and where real, legitimate zoos reside, where the animals are part of conservation programs managed by and trained, educated zoologists. Imagine that. My Oklahoma has amazing institutes of higher education, producing highly educated Oklahomans year after year. Institutions like Oklahoma State University, Oklahoma University, and Tulsa University, just to name a few. Institutions with wonderful sports programs, rich in tradition, filling Oklahoma people with pride and joy. Imagine that. My Oklahoma is comprised of hundreds of beautiful small towns. Small towns filled with hometown pride and a strong sense of community. Towns like this one, where the people care about and care for one another. Towns with locally owned restaurants, movie theaters, grocery stores, and neighborhood hardware and more stores. Even some with beautiful waterfalls. Imagine that. Now, I'm not going to lie. The producers of this docuseries about tigers and a guy named Joe did get some things right. When it comes to my Oklahoma sense of fashion, the producers nailed it. This eye for vogue can't be taught. It comes from an instinct we are born with. You either have it or you don't. I oftentimes get asked, "Are you that crazy guy from the docuseries about tigers and a guy named Joe?" No, I'm not that guy. Some people do seem to think that I'm crazy. I'm not crazy, just a little bit eccentric. This docuseries about tigers and a guy named Joe portrays the behavior of Oklahoma people in a manner that does not fairly represent the people of my Oklahoma. Now, the folks depicted in the docuseries about tigers and a guy named Joe are in all probability intelligent and kind-hearted people who have also been misrepresented in the name of entertainment. That being said, there are a few behavioral issues demonstrated during this docuseries about tigers and a guy named Joe that I would like to clarify as not my Oklahoma. The vast majority of people in my Oklahoma do love to shoot guns. We appreciate our firearms almost as much as we appreciate our constitutional right to bear them. The difference between the people in my Oklahoma and the people in this docuseries is that the people in my Oklahoma bear their firearms in a safe and responsible manner. Unlike this guy named Joe, you will never see one of my Oklahomans point a weapon, loaded or not, at another human being. Now, just for the record, the behavior you just saw from me was for demonstration purposes only. Unlike that guy named Joe, my cameraman has momentarily stepped a safe distance away.
Bernie, we good? Keep coming back over here. Well, make sure you keep these cameras rolling. I really want to get some good stills out of this. Okay?
We on? I will venture to say that very few people, if any, in my Oklahoma have had any formal training or education on the behavior of tigers. That being said, I will also venture to say that almost all, if not all, of the people in my Oklahoma instinctively know that they have a 0% chance of outrunning an adult tiger. Armed with that knowledge, you will never see one of my Oklahomans voluntarily placing themselves in a position to need to outrun adult tigers. As a result of that same foundation of instinctive knowledge, you also will never see one of my Oklahomans attempting to catch a tiger by the tail. On a similar note, you will never see one of my Oklahomans filming a political campaign ad while sharing the same confined space as multiple adult tigers. My Oklahomans just would find a more appropriate location to complete this task. Hypothetically speaking, because that's the only way we can speak about something that will never happen, if one of my Oklahomans found themselves to be sharing a confined space with adult tigers, he or she would utilize his or her instinctive knowledge about tigers and abandon their mission at the moment a tiger showed obsessive curiosity towards his or her footwear.
Okay, camera. Bernie, keep these cameras rolling. This is the public service announcement of a portion of the webisode, or what we in the business like to refer to as the PSA.
Our team here at the GV Exotic Refuge would like everybody out there to recognize that loaded fuel containers should be treated with the same level of responsibility and safety in mind as loaded firearms. We utilize gas cans on a daily basis here at the refuge. These containers are typically used to store highly flammable and explosive liquids such as gasoline. When needed, this stored fuel is then poured out of the container into fuel-consuming equipment such as lawnmowers, chainsaws, string trimmers, and leaf blowers. There may also be occasions where you have a need to pour flammable liquids from one container into another, as is being demonstrated by this member of that guy named Joe's team down at the G-Dub. Unlike this person, the people in my Oklahoma instinctively know that hovering above this pouring process while sporting a lighted cigarette is a mistake potentially as deadly as sharing confined space with adult tigers or Mary and Carol. My Oklahomans just would not do any of these things. Wait a minute. Barney, keep rolling. Are you getting this? You know, we exotic eccentrics haven't done a very good job of just getting along with each other. I feel we should start spending less time obsessing over our differences and more time focusing on the things we have in common. For example, it has suddenly become apparent to me that the guy named Joe and his team down at the G-Dub are good people with big hearts. People doing their part to make the world go around. Just like us here at the GV Exotic Refuge, the team down at the G-Dub obviously contribute to their local economy by patronizing their locally owned neighborhood hardware and more store with the purchase of 5-gallon buckets. Who would have thought we could find such firm and common ground? But wait, there's more. In a perfect example of kindness begetting kindness, the buckets shown here and the bucket I have here aren't just any buckets. Every one of these particular buckets that Joe and his team purchased from their locally owned neighborhood hardware and more stores resulted in a monetary contribution to a nearby children's hospital. Imagine that. That gives me an idea. How about we use this beautiful example as a launching platform to start a movement? A movement that just might heal our torn society. We'll call it Buckets of Love. Yeah, that's it. Buckets of Love. Please, join all of us here at the GB Exotic Refuge by helping make the Buckets of Love movement spread like a pandemic of joy. Head on down to your locally owned neighborhood hardware and more store. Pick up a 5-gallon bucket, or use one that you already have. If you don't want to purchase a bucket, that's okay. Just do this while you're at the store and then put the bucket back on the shelf. I got 2 buckets. They won't mind. Take a silly selfie with you and your bucket. That was a camera. I have a camera. Taking a silly selfie. Share your silly selfie along with any remarks you might want to include in a comment on this post. Then share this post to your friends, hashtag Buckets of Love, challenging them to join the movement too. Should Joe be free? I don't know. Did Carol do it? I don't know that either. Can Buckets of Love make the world a happier place? With your help, yes. That's a wrap for this segment of the GB Doug Exotic Refuge Web-O-Vision. I'm Doug Exotic, signing off for now. I'll see you down the road.
Good work. Good work.
I gotta go. I got things to do.